Getting dressed. Thank God. Alright, we can put the fucking... As much as I love that fucking banner, the censor bar. Absolutely love it. Thank you again for that. Getting dressed, my shirt feels crisp and cool on my freshly washed body. Entry takes a bit longer, his boots and tights having a myriad of intricate straps and buckles that slow down the process. Final Fantasy character again. I don't even know why he bothers wearing clothes at this point. If he wants to feel the fantasy, let him. The final fantasy. I just like watching him struggle to squeeze into those leggings. Yep. It is quite entertaining. We nod in unison, finding solidarity in this new spectator sport. Goodness, you two like to ogle. Am I a mere piece of meat to you? Meat good. Important for diet. We're grown boys. That was just silly. That was just silly right there. He sighs and clips the last of his many belts closed. Bringing our little peep show to a close. Now that that is out of the way, let's begin the searching for those elusive ingredients. I believe it was foxglove, water dropwort, and burdock. And his names out loud, I have no clue what any of those look like. Foxgloves usually grow by a foot of hill. It prefers shade. Points eastward to a ridge in the near distance. I check there. The fox knows where to find foxglove, how fortuitous. Come on, Atri, you just started to like you. I never said I was comedian. Regardless, there's likely some of that dropwood growing in the marsh where the river terminates, so I will search there. It just leaves the burdock. Any idea where I could find that? Or, what it might look like? Hiro sighs, reaching into his tool belt to produce a small leather-bound journal. He undoes the latch and flips through its pages, each section marked with a colored tab. Hey! Like the journal we have! Cool! Here, look. Page shows a purple flower with intimidating spines poking out of its center. If it were anyone else, I'd accuse them of making up an imaginary plant. Grow on roadside and turn soil. Probably closer to a hiking path. Alright. Nervous about splitting up, given the supposed meddling fairies who have decided to make me their target. That Atri to guide me wearing that blindfold is a death sentence. Shoots me a confident smile. Crap, it must be written all over my face. Worry not, Gray. Remember what I showed you before, and you should be able to overcome anything. I'll explain later. I'll try to explain. But thanks, Atri. I'll do my best. We meet back here at 30 minutes. If trouble, whistle. Alright, I'm off then. He heads back to the river. I look at Hiro. And he nods, sliding his goggles over his eyes and gives me a quick hug before jogging off. Alright, this should be easy. Just looking for a little flower, right? You said that the hill was toward the east. The way back to the trail should be south, I think. Probably should have asked before anyone left. Whatever, I can't be relying on them for everything. This section of the forest is full of chaotic growth, making it hard to find any semblance of a walking path. Come on, Gray, just pick a direction and stick with it. that notion in mind, the seemingly random shapes surrounding me start to shift into recognizable paths. Branches twist and bend into labyrinthine walls. Leaves line the edges of the path like a sidewalk to a street. Yeah, I'm sure this isn't any sort of interference with our mind at all. Before I know it, I'm back on the trail that leads to the village. I did it! Oh. Well. Fuck me. Okay, time to sniff out some poisonous posies. Hiro said, turn soil, so I should probably look closer to man-made structures. Can't recall seeing any of those out here, aside from that creepy hut. Yeah, no, I'm definitely don't want to go back there by myself. Maybe the village gates? No, if I grew that close by, I doubt Petra would bother sending us to fetch it. I'll have to go further south. I can actually enjoy the walk now that there's a level path. It's hard to believe that these are the same woods that nearly killed us yesterday. Atri's beliefs aside, could something else be at play? Mere hallucinations can't be that if it. As someone who gets medication for hallucinations, I fucking bet, bitch. Todd always makes himself known, so I can't blame everything on him. And Virgil's been awful quiet since he dropped me here. Don't tempt him. Is he just watching to see how I'll react? Who would find entertainment in something so banal? D&D players. I speak as a D&D player. Don't fucking come at me here. Maybe these woods are full of noxious gas, and the locals pin the blame on fairies. But that doesn't explain why Hiro is unaffected. Speculating is pointless. Thank you. Thank you. That's kind of what I do here. Just focus on finding the little flowers. Just remember the flower. Oh, what's that up ahead? Rub my eyes to make sure they ain't playing tricks on me. Well, this looks, to use another word, planted. An entire row of burdock is neatly planted next to other brightly colored plants on either side of the path. Getting closer, I see tiny wooden posts stuck in the dirt. They have dates carved into them, along with other strange symbols. Someone's personal garden all the way out here? There's no gate or anything guarding these from intruders. Not to mention they all seem to be wildflowers. I don't think whoever left this here would mind if I took a few when there's so many. For all they know, it could be some wild animals doing. Crouch down and reach toward my prize, careful to avoid the spines when... What the... Hey! Holy shit! Before I can even turn around, a shot rings out, disturbing the tranquility of the forest. Holy fuck, a bullet whizzes past me, exploding a patch of dirt a few yards away. Eek, yeah. Turn around. Slow. Oh, hey, a gruff male voice. I got that right for once. Fuck, fuck, fuck. I'm sorry. He cocks his gun. Do as I say. I nod and nervously inch back around on my knees, hands raised. Good, good. Now what are you doing messing with my flowers, boy? I dare not look up, knowing that gun is pointed straight at me. All I can tell is that he's heavy set and wearing well-worn hunting gear. I didn't know it was yours. You think that's an excuse? No. You know what they did to thieves in the olden days? Large hand reaches down and tightens around my wrist. We cut these off. Those German Southerners. Please, I'm sorry. Forced to my feet, I finally get a glimpse of who my attacker is. A black ram, horns curled into a menacing spiral. His breath stinks of alcohol and tobacco. I don't think he's had a shower in days.
I never seen one of your kind around these woods. Who are you?
Put him down!
Huh?
He drops me, relaxing his posture as the others run up on us. Hiro skirts around him, sliding through the dirt like a baseball player to get to me.
Oh, and what do we have here?
He chuckles, reaching down toward us. Hiro growls at him, biting at his fingers. Lifeline! Recognition flashes through his eyes, and he finally lowers his gun, turning to face Atri with a shrug.
Oh, it's you. So these two oddballs with you?
Gonna call us oddballs. He nods, expression stone cold. They're my friends. They're my friends. I have observed enough to know they're trustworthy folk.
Say it ain't so.
They stare at each other for a while. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Suddenly, they drop the axe and start laughing, embracing each other with a jovial hug. Alfuenya, son of a bitch, you're looking good!
Likewise, boy. Looks like you've been faring well.
What is happening right now? I don't know. I'm still shivering. The mood is so chaotic right now, it feels like anything could happen to us. Atri notices our visible concern and breaks his little powwow to help us to our feet. Sorry, Gray. Alvin is actually a good friend of mine. He was just trying to scare you. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Second mention of a fly. Third overall view of a fly. Rem bows, albeit a mock apology, as he's still laughing under his breath.
Had I known you were with the elk, I'd have explained, but you really can't trust strangers. Especially out here.
He points behind him with a hard-capped thumb. Hard-capped thumb? And he's wearing gloves.
I own a few acres of land out here. There's no judge or jury, so I have to defend it by myself. And to be fair, I saw you ruminating about it, so it's clear you knew it was wrong to steal those flowers, Paws.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't think a few missing flowers is grounds for murder. Under his ownership, all punishment, but under his ownership, all punishments are technically at his discretion. We were given the task of finding some medicinal herbs, and Gray here was instructed to search for burdock by the road, and
Yes, he wasn't looking too hard, then. There's plenty of the wild stuff up yonder.
I guess you tried looking here first, didn't you, lad? Did you? I've never done this before. All three shake their heads and sigh. My face was hot with shame.
Anyway, if you're Atri's kin, then I suppose I could spare some herbs. Just use them responsibly, okay?
Crouches down next to us and pulls out some tiny shears. After a few snips, he drops a handful of them next to me.
Careful with the barbs.
Thanks. He stands up, groaning in pain as his back pops. I feel that.
You know, it's been a good while since you came over for... Oh, fuck. You know, it's been a good while since you came over for lunch, Atri. I got some special meat. Won't you and your pals here join me?
We have to... Oh, that sounds delightful. I haven't had meat in ages. My stomach growls before I can protest. Hiro shoots me a worried glance and I hold his hand. Atri won't let him hurt us. Let's just play along. Okay.
My cottage is just over yonder. Come on, gentlemen.
We shuffle behind him as he strolls down the path. He and Atri are having lively conversation, but I can't catch any of it. Hiro seems to be listening intently, furrowing his brow. Do you still not trust Atri? No. Didn't even blink. I never trust anyone completely. The world is not an ideal place, Gray. Remember that. Right. Whoa, holy shit! I don't think I'm getting complacent or anything, but Atri doesn't have a bad bone in his body. Would he really be friends with someone who would hurt us? The world is full of surprises, too. Well, you're proof of that. I rub his back and he smiles. I will lower my guard by 10%. Talking like a high school edgelord. Oh, it's still at 90? I don't know what it started at. Oh, Lord. This is not ideal. I notice the road begins to wind down a slope and light starts to dim as the foliage gets thicker. Even in naked daylight, this part of the forest feels dark and gloomy.
Almost there, lads.
You're in for a treat. He lives in the most picturesque little cottage. Oh, fuck me.
Keeps me dry from the rain, at least.
We pass a black rotted tree and he stops, pointing at a familiar looking abode.
And there she is.
Yup, we've seen this before.
This was a bad idea.
Gray? It makes sense. This was the only dwelling I had seen out here, but does that mean this guy is... Gray! Huh? Realize I'm squeezing his arm and I let go. Sorry. You were right. Be on your guard. He nods, sliding his goggles down. Don't dawdle now, boys. I'm starved. Graham holds the door open for us, and we all file in, one by one.
Oh.
Well, this does not match the outside picture at all. This is nice. Something isn't right, though. The interior is completely different than yesterday's. The simple hearth and fireplace has been replaced with functional living space, completely with fine wooden furniture and cookware. A nice tile floor. Alfwin sets his gun by the door, stopping to unload bullets from the action one by one. Everything in here is well worn, given a space above the mantel for a shotgun. Thick layer of dust outlining its familiar silhouette. Could I have been mistaken? There's also an electric toaster on the fucking counter, but you can't get everything. No, how many other hermits could have made something like this? It's got to be a trick. Alfwin notices my hesitation and pulls out a chair for me, grinning ear to ear.
If you please.
Yes, thank you. The three of us sit at the table while Alfwin ducks into the pantry, turning his head so his massive horns don't hit the frame. Atri removes his blindfold, blinking a few times as his crystal clear eyes adjust to the light. Ah, just as quaint as I remembered. Stove will take some
time to start up. Can I offer you some bread in the meantime?
Oh yes, please. Butter and jam? What are we being reprimanded for? Gray! Hisses under his breath and I cringe. Curse my endless appetite. Been hungry ever since I got here. Not just this house, but these woods. Even this morning's breakfast felt like it burned away in minutes. I'll have it with lard if you have it.
Huh? It's too early in the season. Wild pigs don't come through here until winter. Plenty of chicken lard if you want.
Guess it's pig lard. The camera only said lard. Sorry. Andrew sticks his tongue out in disgust. Whoa. Wow. Okay. What the fuck? We're in Germany in the early 20th century. You're not gonna escape this. But goddamn, it'd be nice to, wouldn't it? And yeah, I'm not saying it either. Just because we live off the land doesn't mean we can't eat like royalty.
Sure words, my friend.
Wow. Yeah, the camera's not even picking up what the hell that is. So I have no idea.
Here, I made that this morning.
Atri claps his hands together in joy, nodding eagerly. Notice his cadence seems a little different when he's talking to Alfwin, almost like he's been putting up a front around us. They seem close. Yeah.
What was that language just now?
Jerks his head back, bumping his horns against the frame and cursing to himself. Oh, little Hiro here. Rem pulls his head free, rubbing his horns affectionately. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, word meant something different back then.
Odd name. Where are you from, Fox?
He's journeyed here all the way from Japan. Exciting, no?
Japan? Is that in the Orient?
No, east of China. Fucking criminally.
Huh. I didn't know there was anything past China.
He points a wooden spoon at me.
And this one here speaks a language.
So it seems. It's a welcome surprise, ha ha! Yes, I'm a fast learner.
I hear those Americans from the construction site pass by here every now and then. Their German is terrible. Yet you speak it perfectly.
I'm not involved with them, so...
Oh, apologies.
Ram sets a basket with sliced bread on the table, along with tiny pots of the promised spreads.
We have plum apple, lingonberry, and sour cherry jam, boss. Take your pick.
Thanks? Never heard of any of those names before. How about a good old strawberry?
Any for you, Fox?
Hiro, I'm not hungry. He shrugs and sits down, putting his hands together right as I was reaching for a slice of bread.
Would either of our guests like to lead us in saying grace?
Oh, right. I suppose that's the polite thing to do. God, I find that so obnoxious. I'm a little rusty, but sure. Atri bumps my leg affectionately under the table. Really don't want to get his hopes up about my faith. Hiro looks genuinely confused as I recite the prayer I'd heard over the dinner table thousands of times growing up. Oh, I'm not saying that. It's the thing. Whatever. Hey, fucking man. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, man.
Close enough.
With that formality out of the way, we break bread. Just with fucking hammers. Decided to go with the apple jam, while the others go for the savory spreads. Not bad. Mom loved canning fruits in the summer, and while she never tried apples, the flavor palette isn't too different. Glad to see that Alfwin is hospitable towards us, despite his general coldness. Atri seemed to be the only one who could get a genuine smile out of him. He looked very uncomfortable, and I can't blame him. I want to get out of here as soon as this little lunch is over with. So, Munch, I haven't seen you come into town lately. Bad crop?
No, nothing like that. You know how it is trying to compete with the canine vendors. Most of the villagers would rather be caught dead than buying any good from a hoof. hoof.
Whatever. Almost choking my food. I haven't heard that term used that casually since the private dinners father would have with his associates. Atri nods, swallowing his food before quickly reaching for another slice. It's to be expected. I don't really mind it, truth be told. If that's to be our place, let us do our part and serve them as best we can. What? Look at me, shocked at my sudden interjection. How could I not be angry hearing that? Well, out of all the options we have, I guess interject is all that we've got. I'm gonna save, though. You're gonna have to trust that I saved, because I can't show the save screen right now, with the genitalia and whatnot. Fucking YouTube. In case another option shows up. Interject. What I mean is, how can you be so happy about being discriminated because of your race? Especially when you do so much of the village.
I think I share the boy's sentiment. I'm in no position to tell a fellow hoof how to live, but I'm my own man.
I cringe hearing the word again. Hiro seems completely checked out of the conversation, tapping a finger at the table. But the way I see it, everything in this world is determined by God. He created struggle, so man always has something to work towards, and being born an elk is just another trial. Oh. Well. I guess we're just saying none of my business. Your fellow elk aren't the ones preaching the good word from atop the pulpit, though, are they? They're the ones listening. He shrugs. I control not how others choose to interpret his word, only how I can better serve him and our community. Thus, if those with a pedigree were tasked with spreading his word across the land, I'm thankful to have been given the privilege of learning it from them. Oh God, stop it. Where I'm from, they weren't given a choice. Off with nods, taking a sip of water.
They cut off our horns, you know. A symbol of our pride.
Why do they have to touch him? Oh my God. I doubt God wanted that done in his name. I have heard as such. While I don't agree with the methods used at the time, I can't help but think of my brethren's persistence as a testament to their faith. It's just a kid. Man. You gotta have every trauma in this game. Every fucking trauma, don't you? Strength doesn't have to come from suffering. It can't change the past, Gray.
Turning a blind eye to it, then?
Nobody wanted to admit it happened. Is it really alright to turn a blind eye when your people continue to be subjugated into the same race you happily serve?
I ain't never seen a varmint speak so highly of us. Certainly not an American.
With all due respect, Gray, you're technically one of the subjugators that you speak of. Why would you want to change the status quo when you benefit the most? I am not! Stand up, slamming the table with my fists. They'll never change. I'm nothing like them. Nothing like him. I'm sorry for assuming things. Maybe this isn't the best topic for such mixed company.
Aye.
Hiro, listen. Hiro didn't care. Not from here. Hiro moves his goggles up. All Hiro say is even where Hiro from, foxes talk bad about people with horn. Everyone hate what they don't understand. You smile weakly at Atri. I almost said Artie. What the fuck? Maybe if they talk to one, say they're not so scary, everyone will be happy. Wait, so the reason that Hiro didn't like Atri was because of a prejudice? It wasn't the science versus religion, the closed off versus free reign. It wasn't all of that. It was just because Hiro's racist. I mean, now we've picked apart and mentioned multiple times that Gray is from the earlier time. So obviously he's going to have some racist and bigoted mindsets that he has to unlearn. But I guess for some reason, and it's a stupid thing looking back on it now, Hiro, I never looked at that way, even though Hiro's from an even older fucking time. Of course, they hadn't introduced this dynamic of hooved people in this world being looked at as a different sect of people, like a different class. So I didn't even know that. Or at least if they did, I'm forgetting. But yeah. It all in once makes sense for Hiro to be like fucking racist in a way, but it's also a bit anticlimactic that was the fucking thing that was like at the root of it all. But I mean, that's usually it, isn't it? I feel a relief wash over me. I don't know what I'd do if I found out Hiro was a bigot, especially with what he's already gone through living here. Wait, did I misread that now? Because Hiro clearly had a lot of fucking issues with Atri that didn't seem to be building up with a whole, that like didn't seem to be based on Atri's actions. And now, I don't fucking know.
Unity is very important. We should all accept each other for what we really are. No reason to deceive each other.
Dots.
Do you know what I mean, Fox?
Oh, come off it. They stare at each other, nobody daring to speak a word. The silence is broken by the shrill whistle of steam coming from the stove. Remember they said, if there's any trouble, whistle. Alfwin smirks, breaking his concentration to tend to the kitchen.
Yes. We should all get together again. I'm taking a liking to you lot.
Indeed. The conversation, subject aside, is lively.
You boys must be so hungry.
Bends down to grab something wrapped in paper out of a box. Stained pink around the edges and soaked with grease. Oh, this isn't menacing at fucking all. Special meat? Oh, brother. Here we go. Ah, yes, yes. You mentioned having come upon some rare meat. Didn't know horns eat meat. I can see why most would think that, but we eat the same as anyone. What kind of meat is that? Takes his time unwrapping it, humming a song. I have a feeling to be continued is about to happen to me. It sounds familiar.
Oh, you probably never heard. Oh, you've probably never had it before. It's quite exotic.
Mouth-watering smell starts to waft over from him.
I took the time to Dress it with an herbal rub earlier. Lots of fat, so it should fry up nicely.
Unable to contain my curiosity any longer, I shuffled past Atri to peer over the ram's shoulder. What is that?
Tongue.
What was all of that? Hold up. Hungry. It just says hungry a bunch of times. Stomach folds without warning, and I stumble back, gagging at the feeling of my own scarred tongue. Really? From what manner of beast? He laughs in a gravelly voice, flicking the pilot on and off until it ignites. Hungry.
Ooh, just something I found lying around.
I need to get the fuck out of here. Looked at Hiro and he understands immediately, scooting out of his seat and standing by the door. I just remembered something we needed to do in town. We should go now.
So soon? It'll only take a few minutes to cook.
Grabs a chef knife off the counter, holding it over the meat.
It tastes better when I slice it thin.
My gut twists itself into a knot. We really need to go. Oh, well, that's a shame. I thought I might stay a while. I think I might stay a while, so here. Tosses Hiro a satchel. You can deliver the goods on my behalf. Okay. Let us know when you get back to town, Atri. Alright, and please feel free to accept any payment Petra gives you. I'm not frantically ready to bolt. Shall we?
Yes. Safe travels, boys.
Their laughs echo in the tiny house as we shut the door behind us, breathing sighs of relief. That wasn't normal, right? Not at all. You know something? Nothing that would make any sense if I explained it. Try me. Later. I feel like I'm gonna barf. Hey. He catches me as I stumble, letting me lean into his sturdy arms. Let's take a minute before we go back. Sure, but not too long though. It's gonna get dark soon. He nods as we sit on a nearby log that's been shaved down into a makeshift bench. There's far too many things racing through my mind to focus. Atri's shady friend, his complacency about bigotry, that meat. I want to trust Atri, I really do. Once he's away from that man, I'll have a good long talk with him about the whole thing. Cultural differences are one thing, but there's some primeval madness emanating from that house, and all I can think is that he's involved with the Todd in some way. And there's one other nagging thought that's begging to be explored. You've been quiet. Yeah, sorry, a lot's on my mind. Guess now's as good a time as any. Hiro, how did you meet Petra? Well... He hops off the log, thinking to himself before shaking his head. We can talk about it another time. It's not something I really want to get into right now. That's fine, I was just curious. Words about minding my business flashed through my mind. Sorry. It's fine, you're bound to be curious. It's a very unusual arrangement. But for now, let's finish our quest. Quest, huh? Damn it, that fool's lingo was rubbing off on me. Admit it, you had fun hanging out with us. He's grown on me a bit, yes. But after what just happened, I'm back to being skeptical. I nod, finding myself in the same boat. Anyway, come on, I'm hungry. As he heads back to the path, I catch some stray conversation coming from an open window. Oh, that's tempting. Gonna choose to listen in real quick, but if there's bad consequences, I'll just choose to leave and keep that knowledge for meta knowledge. Listen in. Crouch down and inch my way over, stopping just next to the opening. Hiro looks puzzled and I gesture for him to stay quiet. Rolls his eyes and turns around, walking on without me. No! Yes, well, they're good fellows. Easy going.
Perfect candidate.
You have a good eye as expected, Father. Father? Yes, he's been quite the gentleman.
Aye, the fox less so.
Oh, I'm sure he'd...
He? Have your senses become dull or something?
No, 'tis obvious, Father, but the fox clearly wants to be seen as...
You suggest God somehow made an
error, you slimy bastard. Fuck you and fuck this whole mindset.
Does he speak to you or not?
Yes.
Then wait for his guidance. Until then, we shall pray on the matter.
Yes, my apologies.
Did you bring it?
There's someone rustling around. It wasn't easy to find this time. We should use it sparingly. Pause, something smoldering, followed by the smell of smoke.
Let us imbibe so we may better hear his voice.
Amen. Something gets thrown my way. A pine cone. It was waving at me a few yards away. Yeah. Sneak away and jog over to him.
Honestly.
Sorry.
You were talking about us.
So? I don't know. It was weird. They referred to us as candidates. Cocks his head in confusion. Well, that's concerning, but not enough information to go off of. I look away, disappointed that I didn't hear anything useful. Anyway, enough dawdling. Let's get out of here. A nod and we book it, heading straight for the main road. Down the main road.